got a bear.
Oh, I gotta break you off now.
Okay.
Hey Sam, we got a bear. We gotta move down.
Oh my God.
Look at that thing.
It's a big bear.
It's so cute.
And we didn't even run. Like, I was like,
The guy's
"Run,
like,
guy."
who hired the bear?
Ron McGill
What's
told
he
us you
doing
don't
here?
run low and slow, right? Low and slow.
Low and slow.
I would have run there.
I'm gonna scare him away with my net.
Oh,
Look at that.
It doesn't like buoy.
the bear charged Bowie. Welcome to the Hockey Show. My name is Roy Bellamy. Rosie is in the shipping container, and Ethan is in the studio with me.
Who let that happen?
You know who would let that happen? David Dwork, who of the Hockey News. He is currently on assignment, and by assignment, I mean he is. His wife made him take the family on vacation.
Yeah. The only assignment that matters.
Yes, David, where are you? What's going on?
I am in South New Jersey, where my wife grew up. We're visiting her home right now, but we're about to head up to the summer camp where we met all the way back in 2002.
You guys met at summer camp?
We did.
That's so cute.
A long time ago. We were teenagers. We haven't been there in a while. She went there for like her whole life. I only went there for like 3 summers working as a counselor. But now we're going back with our kids for the first time, and like I haven't been there since 2010. She hasn't been there, I think, since like 2015 or something. So it's been a minute. So we're pretty pumped to go.
What's the camp called?
B'nai B'rith Perlman Camp.
Where is this? Is this in Pennsylvania?
It's in Starlight, Pennsylvania.
It's in Starlight, Pennsylvania. I went to
Jersey
camp.
now.
It's in Wayne County?
Oh God.
Oh my God, this is great Jewish geography.
Jewish geography.
Oh yeah, this is great Jewish geography. Classic
Are you
Wayne
at
County
Camp
camps.
Starlight?
No,
Which
I
one
went to
were you?
Waquaic.
Okay.
Should we bore them
Waquaic.
all with camp stories, David?
No, dude, I'd like people to
we got
continue
like
watching.
15 minutes. We don't have time for that.
You're familiar with Alice's, I'm guessing, right?
Cow Palace
Yes. Okay.
and Jericho's.
San Jose, isn't it?
Those were the places that they would take us to,
Hancock,
like,
New
on
York,
Tuesday.
baby.
Yeah, the red what's
The red awning over the movie theater?
No, what's the bar right there when you get into Hancock,
Oh
New
God,
York?
the 2-story bar.
Yeah, it's called the Red something. That was always how I knew I was like 10 minutes away from camp.
What was the MLB All-Star game that ended in a tie? I watched that game from that bar.
The game in
So
Milwaukee.
that must have been 2010. Or 2007. It must have been
This
2007.
is crazy.
Don't you have pictures to show us or something?
Oh, he's got a
No, well, I
great
gave you a picture of like my wife and I from the day that we started dating, from July 14th, 2002, which is like 25 years ago or whatever it is now. My math is terrible. But you know, that's how long my wife and I have been together. That's when we were at camp. So if you have the picture, you want to show it. It's very, very period in terms of I have the frosted tips rocking and all that good stuff because it was 2002. I actually got really bad with the frost thing. So I was playing hockey back then. I was living up north. So I started just bleaching my hair just to do something fun. At one point, I kind of looked like Slim Shady from like that 2002 era. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty.
Wow. Well, a lot has changed. Well, it was 2002 the first time you met your
Yep.
wife? Wow. So, what, 23 years, huh? Man.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. Like I said, my math is terrible. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's.
Now, let me ask you something, David. In this picture, it looks like you have something hanging from your ear. Do you still have, like, is your ear still pierced?
No, the
There you
holes
go.
have closed up. Like you can see like the little dimples from the earrings, but I think I maxed out at 5 at one point. I had like 2 on the bottom of each, and then I had the cartilage at one point. It's what we did.
How
It's
handsome
what
is
we
Dworky?
did?
It's what
you were
people
handsome,
did back
bro.
at that time. I don't know. It's common.
How handsome is Dworky?
Yeah, you were.
Thank you.
You
Past
still-
tense. That's he's a professional now. Jesus Christ.
That's how we rolled back then. That's when I was a hockey player trying to do my thing.
Wow.
Is that an MJ Bulls jersey?
No,
is
that's
that
a
Michael
Dennis
Jordan?
Rodman Bulls jersey.
That's even cool. That might be even cooler.
Rosie, you have a video. Is this going to
Yeah.
make me upset?
So I have a video. It might
I
make you
hope so.
upset, but David, David, you're the only one that can tell us if this is right or it's not right. Because when I saw it, I started laughing, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ask David because he's the only one that has played hockey, and 2 is a goalie. So hit it, boys.
So, yeah.
Left, right, left. What comes after left again? Oh boy, my favorite part of the game. Cuddles, yeah.
Did they make Mackenzie Blackwood British?
So yeah, Mackenzie Blackwood was
That
doing
is a great stretch.
lateral movements left to right.
Water.
Honestly, Rose, I'm amazed at the accuracy of this
Right?
video. That's almost like that's what goes through my head every pregame. I'm literally going left skate, right skate, left skate, hop over the line, left skate, right skate. So yeah, it's
There you
know,
go.
when
I
nothing's
knew
going,
it.
I'm just like wee.
Water.
The puck's over there, but it's not coming over here. Now that guy has it again. But you better get off the what goes on in my head. It's very childish.
I'm
and
very
silly.
accurate.
Yeah, that's
that was good.
goaltender's mentality right there. All right, so we were off last week, and we didn't get to talk about this news that came out. The sports division over at Electronic Arts announced that Matthew Tkachuk would be the cover athlete of EA Sports NHL 26. All right. Now, on the deluxe edition, they have Matthew, Brady, and
This
Keith
is so
Tkachuk.
cool.
And they got Keith Tkachuk, by the way, in a Blues jersey.
And they got him like
That is playing weight.
the thing I like, right, is that it's the video game versions kind of the players. So like it's a very young version of Keith Tkachuk, and he looks awesome. I
Yeah.
love that they did this. This is such a cool touch.
Yes, that's nice. There's a good-looking big Walt right there. So, yeah, that's great.
Dad
now-
and son, they look alike. The
Brady?
other one?
Yeah,
no,
Brady,
no.
Brady, and Keith look so much alike.
Yeah.
It's a
No.
solid analyzation, Rose.
Yeah.
Father and
think the other
son
one.
look alike.
It's the first Panther on the cover of a video game since John Van Beeswick on NHL 97. Now, I've had my complaints about the EA Sports NHL franchise. I mean, it's been bad for the past 10 years. I'm hoping that it is much better. They seem to be revamping the Be a Pro mode. So, yeah, I'm really hoping that this is going to be a good game this year.
That's always my favorite. I always like the Be a Pro mode. Like people always
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
play it for like Ultimate Team or Dynasty, but I always like the Be a Pro because it's fun. You feel like you're.
No.
I mean,
When
sitting
you
at
create
home,
a player.
I mean,
yeah.
it's just so much work. Like I just like to log on. I like to be my favorite team, and I like
Yeah.
to make them beat everybody and win the Stanley Cup. That's why I play Madden. It's the only way to make the Dolphins any good.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so
So,
you're a
like, that's-
franchise
that's-
mode type of guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to start my team. I want to play. I want it to be accurate to like the current NHL team, and I want to make them do like the best possible stuff. That it's like Fantasyland for me. That's
I think
why
I got
enjoy playing.
Ovechkin on the Panthers back in the day.
Well, he technically was almost.
The draft was not
Oh, that
denied.
should have been that is one of the sneakiest things any team has ever tried to do, and I absolutely love that the Panthers.
Can you
tried to do
imagine
that.
if that had become the norm though? And like every draft year you had people calculating leap years for guys and trying to like sneak one in there? Like that would
It's
have been
genius,
a crazy
though. It's genius.
precedent to set.
It's very, very smart.
It's why Rick Dudley's name is on the cup. Wins and fails of the week is presented by Jägermeister. Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. For more, visit Jägermeister.com. Drink responsibly. David, from currently in New Jersey, please give us your win.
My win of the week from Mount Laurel, New Jersey goes all the way over to Australia.
Oh, my God.
The Australian Ice Hockey League. Former Florida Panther David Booth
so
is
sick.
tearing that league up right now. They're about halfway done with their season. He's played only 11 games, and yet he still has 25 goals and another 25 assists in 11 games for the Melbourne Ice. And I think you just played the replay of this ridiculous masterpiece spinning goal he scored against the Brisbane Lightning, another great name in the Australian Ice Hockey
Brisbane.
League. David Booth will be 41. Oh, is it Brisbane, not Brisbane?
Yeah.
Well, that's my Miami accent. for
There's
you.
an Olympics there in like 2032.
Nice. Well, I hope ice hockey. It wouldn't be Summer Olympics. It would be summer, not winter. But anyway, David Booth is like almost my age.
Below
Roy.
the
He's
equator.
41. He is still tearing it up in hockey. We just saw him, wasn't he? Wasn't he at that alumni game when the All-Star game was here?
Yeah, I
a couple
believe
years
so.
ago?
Yeah.
Now, can
Yeah,
I ask
so,
you something, David? Sorry. I don't know a lot, admittedly, about the Australian Hockey League, but I saw the score in that game was like 8-7. Are the rules different, or do they just not give a shit about defense over there? Excuse my language.
The rules are not different from from the games that I
Damn
watched.
you,
I
Ethan.
mean, the rules look pretty similar. I think it's just more, for lack of a better term, Australia. It's more beer league for a pro league than what we see over here. Which it looked like a lot of fun. The fans were having fun. You couldn't hear the announcers on that clip that we played, but even they were like going crazy for it. So it just sounded like everybody's having a great time over there, especially David Booth.
I got a great win this week. This is coming out of PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League. Tim Hortons and Barbie have released a hockey player Barbie doll.
Let's buy one for the hockey show.
Let's buy one for
Great
Claire.
idea.
Well, for Claire, but also for the hockey show.
Princess
we can
Claire
have it
needs
there,
the
bro.
goalie.
Well, that's going to be difficult because it's currently sold out. In Canada, every $5 from each sale will go to the Grindstone Foundation, who will help girls who face financial barriers play hockey. There's also some limited edition dolls of Sarah Nurse. That's my girl. And Marie Philippe Poulin. They were available. I say they were available because I just said they are currently out of stock. They have sold out.
Will they be coming back into stock? Like, can we
I
get
hope
them?
so. I
Yeah,
really
like, that
hope
would be.
so.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah, that's very
What
cool.
took so long, though? Why are we just now in 2025 getting our first hockey Barbie?
Because it's
There's
too
like
woke.
a
I don't
Barbie
know.
for everything. There's like, ventriloquist Barbie, mime Barbie. Why are we just now getting hockey Barbie?
I don't really think that they've ventured into sports all that much. So that would probably be one of the
I
problems.
just
I'm
found
sure
out
there's a
about
cheerleader
hockey,
Barbie.
Yeah.
2 years ago, so
Well,
That's what it is.
Caitlin Clark Barbie.
We need Rosie. We need the Barbie. We need Rosie instead of Barbie. That's what we
need a
need.
Barbie
that's a
of
good
me.
idea.
Oh man, everybody will buy it.
The
Ethan,
Rosie
you'll-
line.
Ethan, you win.
My win of the week, guys. Not normally somebody I would hand out a win to, but I mean, this is one of the great moments in his life. I mean, he finally got a ring. Leon Draisaitl got hitched this summer. Congratulations to
Leon
him. It's the
Draisaitl.
first ring that he has.
You got it right.
Hopefully it'll be the last because it seems like the Panthers and
Hopefully he
Oilers
doesn't
will be
get a
facing
divorce.
off. But no, I'm talking about him. I don't want him to get a Stanley Cup ring because I want the Panthers to keep winning the Stanley Cup. Anyway, this picture of Leon Draisaitl rules so hard. It's his wedding. He's taking off his dress shoes and putting on his slides that he's been wearing around all weekend,
smoking
and
a
he's
cigarette.
ripping a dart.
Yeah, that's the least surprising thing I've ever seen.
That's exactly how your night should end at your wedding.
Yeah, with a cigarette getting lung cancer. Yeah,
My
Rosie.
wife would have kicked my ass if I smoked a cigarette.
No,
at my
you know what?
wedding.
It's your wedding night, man.
It's our wedding night.
Have some fun.
Yes, and I'd like to enjoy
let
my
loose a
wedding night,
little.
if you know what I mean.
Let loose a little.
Yeah, Rosie.
Piss off my wife on day one.
Okay, so don't cut me off.
Okay.
But my win of the week goes
It's a
to.
great intro.
I'm telling you, this girl knows.
You're
what she's
controlling the
doing.
mics.
Yeah, I know. This girl knows what she's doing. She's very intelligent, and this clip is gonna just sums it all up because I think we have to talk about her. And she just announced her new album, so let's go.
As we all know, you guys have a lot of male sports fans that listen to your podcast. And I think we all know that if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on their screens, it's more of me.
The sarcasm there is just epic. She
Yeah,
knows. She's like, nobody wants
Yeah,
to
I
see me,
really
but
like
I'm
her
here.
talking voice. Like, I know she's like known for singing her, but I really like her talking voice.
She's the
Like,
best.
it's nice.
She's so calculated that's why she's a billionaire. So she's
It's
the
a good
best.
joke she had at the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
it's
really,
true. It's true. The last thing I want to see more of when watching sports
So she
is
was
Taylor
very
Swift. I've
she
seen
was
enough
very
of her.
sarcastic. So
Well, that was pretty
I
good,
love
though,
it.
when she was on with the Kelsey brothers. I mean, I've seen a lot of that over the last couple of days, and it's actually entertaining for somebody that's not, I've got Taylor Swift songs on my phone. My kids love them. I'm not like a Swiftie, but I
What's
did
your
enjoy
favorite
the
Taylor
Look
Swift
podcast.
what you made me do.
What's
Look
your
what
favorite
you
Taylor
made me
Swift
do.
song, David?
God, I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite.
I like
I
one.
could name like Shake
I like
It
You
Off.
Belong With
and-
Me.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the one I like,
I don't want to hear your favorite
That's the
song
one I
of
like.
Taylor Swift. I'm moving on to fails.
And
David,
Magic.
what's your fail of the week?
Naming Taylor Swift songs. No,
Yeah.
my fail of the week came on Wednesday over at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, which this year is taking place in Chechnya and Slovakia. There was a really cool moment between a U.S. player, a referee, and a German goaltender. So if we can put the audio up for this, the U.S. player shot it on the goalie after the whistle.
Bit of a crowd. He might be getting a penalty. We'll see how they sort this out.
Hey, six! Go to the goalkeeper! Go to the goalkeeper! Go to the goalkeeper! Six! It was after the whistle!
The referee is yelling at the U.S. player
You go
to
to
go
the goalkeeper,
apologize.
okay? You go to the goalkeeper, it's not go to the
Go to the
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper.
Not cool.
Go to the
Great
goalkeeper.
accent.
Go to the goalkeeper. I don't want to give a
Let's go
penalty.
apologize.
Go to the goalkeeper. Now that's gonna be our.
And the goalie's like, dude, bleep
You
off.
go apologize right now, or I'm giving you a penalty.
So that's definitely
Go to the
a major
goalkeeper.
fail. I love that the referee is like getting the back of the goalie. You don't shoot it after the whistle. Everybody knows that's a no-no. But the apology instant, I kind of like it.
All right, my fail of the week is a promotional video shoot, and this one went a little bit too far.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, Bowie, as you know, is the Seattle Kraken mascot, and Bowie and some others went fly fishing at Katmai National Park in the Pacific Northwest when a brown bear showed up. Please play the video. Now,
while we were fishing,
this is bad.
we had a pretty close call with a couple bears. We got a bear.
Oh, I gotta break you off.
Okay.
Hey Sam, we got a bear. We gotta move down.
Oh my God.
Look at that thing.
It's a big bear.
It's so cute.
And we didn't even run. Like I was like,
The guy's
"Run,
like,
guy."
who hired the bear?
Ron McGill
What's
told
he
us you
doing
don't
here?
run low and slow, right? Low and slow.
Slow and slow.
I would have run there.
I'm gonna scare him away with my net.
Oh,
Look at that.
It doesn't like buoy.
the bear charged Bowie.
Yeah.
I want to
When the bear starts
They were pretty
galloping,
interested in
that's where my
his whole
bowels
look.
go.
So we got out of it okay, but it was a close call.
Like the bear's galloping at them and nobody's moving. Like they're just
Exactly.
like strolling. What the hell?
I was
Run.
listening to What Chaos yesterday, and they were doing a whole segment. Shout out to What Chaos, by the way. I love those guys. What would they have done if something had happened to Bowie?
Hey, bear.
Hey, bear.
Ethan, you fail.
My fill of the week comes from. So I don't know exactly where this comes from, but this is Patty Kane's kid, Patty Kane III, and Alex DeBrinket's kid, Archie DeBrinket, going at it with each other.
Rosie, you fail.
Okay, my fail. I just want to put the picture there because EA Sports did a simulation and we can laugh about it. Yeah. So that was my fail of the week. How about that?
Nice.
Yeah, they were definitely wrong. For those on DKN, we have Dom Luszczyszyn from The Athletic coming up next. That is our guest. You can find us on YouTube, LeBatard and Friends. You can click on the playlist tab and click on our photo to see Dom Luszczyszyn, who's coming up next. Dom Luszczyszyn is on the show right now. He's the national NHL writer for The Athletic. He recently wrote an article about how the 32 franchises in the National Hockey League are efficient in their roster building and using their money. Now, I can give you the top 5 and the bottom 5 to save time. All right, the top 5, we have Tampa at A+, the first. Second, Carolina, A+. Third, Colorado, A+. And then we get into the A's. Florida has an A. The fourth, Ottawa has an A. They are fifth. And the bottom 5, 28th is Anaheim at a C. The Islanders, 29th with a C. Nashville, D+. They are 30th. Chicago, D+. 31st. That's a big woof right there, by the way. And Seattle, D+. At 32. So
That's the Chandler Stevenson contract.
That is true. That's a bad contract. What went into this formula, Dom? And can you tell me why the New York Islanders aren't dead last in this situation? And the streak continues, Dave.
So what goes in this formula is I first rate every player, and I have a model for that where I look at how many points each player scores, how they drive play, who they play against, who they play with. And I have something that's sort of like WAR, like if you follow baseball, so wins above replacement. And then I just convert that into how much that should cost on the open market. I then apply an age curve using comparable players from the past to see how each player ages. And then I apply that to the future cap growth to get how much each player's contract should be worth. I add it all up for every team, see how likely the contracts are to be valuable. And you end up with the Islanders in 29th, not 32nd. And that is because they do have some good contracts on the books, and they don't have a lot of horrible ones like Seattle or Nashville have.
You have Tony DeAngelo at a B+. Why?
I think if you look at someone like Shane Gostisbehere on Carolina, where they are a pure like power play quarterback kind of vibe and bring offense, usually those players don't cost a lot on the open market, but a model like this might view them more favorably for their offensive output. And with Noah Dobson gone, DeAngelo should get the bulk of the power play time for the Islanders. I think he's probably priced fairly, and my model is probably wrong about him and wrong about Gostisbehere, because there's a reason teams don't pay those type of players a lot, but that is why he's rated high, and same as Gostisbehere for Carolina.
Seems the model doesn't account for some of the things you don't like about Tony DeAngelo, Roy.
Yeah, that is true. That is the content of one's character. Convince my producer, Ethan here. as to why the Florida Panthers shouldn't be number 1 on the list.
I mean, I was personally surprised they weren't number 1. I think the reason is they have won 2 Stanley Cups. They can sort of do whatever they want right now, and that includes the Marchand and Bennett contracts, which I think are probably on the more expensive side compared to what they usually do. Usually they get incredible deals. You saw on Reinhart, Barkov, Tkachuk, Forsling, even Ekblad this year. But Marchand, Bennett seemed sort of like luxury contracts where both guys wanted to get paid, and I think aptly so, considering they've been underpaid for a fair bit of their career. Marchand, I think what's important here is the cap hit, which is 5.3, which for the next 3 years is going to be incredible. But there is no precedent for a player, even of his caliber, playing to 43 years old. So that is where the value just drops off significantly, because the expectation is he's not going to be very good when he's 42 years old. But he may prove us wrong. He may prove me wrong. He may be this incredible player still at that age. But the term length is the big thing. It's the same with Sam Bennett, who I think is a very complicated player to price, because during the regular season, he might be a 6 million player. During the playoffs, he's a 10 million player. So you see how you get to 8 million for the Panthers. And I think 8 is probably the limit I would go to for him as well. I wrote about that extensively because I just do think it's a fascinating deal. But the model is really only considering his regular season output, erroneously, obviously, because he's such a playoff demon. But those 2 deals, they're deals Florida had to make to extend this championship window, because they are firmly in it, and the next 3 years are more important than the 4 years after that, where those contracts might become a bit more problematic.
So Dom, I love The Athletic, and I think you guys do a tremendous job. And I was reading the 10 worst...
You're softening it up.
I do. I read The Athletic all the time, and I was reading the 10 worst contracts article. The guy you just brought up, Sam Bennett, made the list at number 8 over Cody Ceci. I understand that that's simply what the model is putting out there, and it's not you saying it. And I think you do a great job in the article of clarifying, look, we all know that this isn't really what Sam Bennett's value is, that he's more of a valuable player in the playoffs. So I guess my question is kind of, hockey has always seemed to me like a very difficult sport to quantify. So, and you do a lot of quantifying of hockey. So where do you, in your analysis, kind of let the quantification end and start doing things with your eyes? And how do you make up the difference between what your eyes say and what the numbers say?
I think I just try to always bridge the gap as much as possible between analytics and the eye test, and improve my model in that way. 2 years ago, I think one of the biggest gaps was that it would often rate third pair defensemen a little better than it should, and it rated first pair defensemen a little worse than it should. And if you talk to any hockey person, if you just watch the game, you're like, there's a reason this guy is playing top pair minutes. There's a reason this guy is not getting in the top 4. And I think the numbers sort of obfuscate the difference between playing the top lineup and playing the bottom. So I worked fairly diligently to account for quality of competition, better quality of teammates, and get to a point where it's not overrating players that play soft minutes and giving credit where credit's due to players like Forsling, players like Slavin, who play these extremely difficult minutes. And there'll still be lapses in judgment, and a lot of time it's just trusting your gut and trusting what you see as well, but understanding that where there is a gap is always where things are interesting. And when you talk about Bennett, what he does is quantifiable in the playoffs. And so the gap is not between the eye test and the analytics. It's between what's quantifiable in the playoffs and what's quantifiable in the regular season, where in the regular season, it does seem like he saves a bit of energy, because if he played the way he did in the playoffs all year, he would not make it to the playoffs. I think that is something where you just have to use a bit of common sense, and also use the numbers to see, is this just something that's random? For a lot of players, it is. They might be like a one playoff wonder. Ville Laino comes to mind from a decade ago. Bennett seems to do this every year, to the point where you watch him, you see him do it every year, and you think, I think this is probably real. to the point that the next thing I do want to look at this model is how much of the small sample size playoff data should I be incorporating? Because right now it is none. And generally, for like 90% of the population, that'll probably work. For players like Bennett, for players on the team I cheer for in Toronto, it also does not work. So there's that gap I think I still need to bridge where you probably
if you
see
don't
Bennett
mind me,
rated more.
sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but if you don't
No
mind me
worries.
asking, do you not incorporate playoffs because some guys play in the playoffs and some guys don't, and some guys play a number, go deep in the playoffs, and some guys play one round in the playoffs, so it would throw off the data? Like, what's the reasoning there?
It's a bit of that. It's a bit of the fact that it's a small sample where if a player plays really poorly for 4 games in the regular season, it means nothing. If he plays really poorly in the playoffs, it means everything. And sort of that can throw off the data, but it's also us taking steps to improve things in the right order. So if I was not quantifying quality competition very well before, I would not be able to look at playoff data appropriately because there's a big difference between the Oilers playing a soft Kings team every year and Florida and Tampa battling it out. Huge difference in quality competition where you'd want to account for how difficult it was, where you might be able to make a bit more excuses for Nikita Kucherov playing not as well because he is constantly going up against Barkov and Forsling every shift compared to the regular season, where he's getting a nice mix of not just Florida, but also Buffalo, and this year Boston was pretty terrible. So it's something you can't just do everything at once, and I'm only one man. So
Of course.
this is the next step where now that I have a better understanding of quality competition, I can apply it to playoffs and see how predictive it is adding. Because I have looked at it before when I didn't have proper quality competition data, and it said just use regular season data. The playoff data is noisy. But now that this is accounted for, I think the answer will be different. We're seeing that transpire with a player like Bennett.
I wanted to ask you about some teams that I think made some big improvements this offseason. I know you kind of covered on it a lot last month after free agency and everything kind of shook out. But 2 teams out west who nobody really thinks much of at this point. Talking about San Jose, who was bottom of the league last year. I think they finished like 40 points out of a playoff spot. And Anaheim, who they were okay. They were still like 20 points out of a playoff spot, 10, 20 points or whatever it is. But I think both of them did a lot to improve this offseason, whether talking about San Jose bringing in like Skinner and Gaudette and Orlov, the Ducks, Kreider, Granlund, they got, our buddy Chicken Wing out of New York last year too. So they've got some decent guys there as well. But just in terms of offseason improvements, San Jose and Anaheim for sure. But who do you think are going to make the biggest jump this year from last year?
It is always a tough question because a lot of times when you see these big jumps, they're sort of unexpected. Like last year, Montreal, I think a lot of people expect them to be at the bottom, and they just had a lot of tangible growth right off the bat. And throughout the season, they got better and better. And I think they can be a team that staves off regression because they added Dobson, because they added Boldich. And Columbus as well is another great example from last year where no one really saw it coming. But the one thing with Columbus that I think applies to a team like Anaheim is they got a new coach who knew what he was doing in Dina Vason. They got a lot more out of players already on the roster. And I think that is something we can see with Anaheim, where even just beyond the numbers, beyond who they added, beyond the fact that there are a lot of young players who are expected to grow this season, they have a new coach in Joel Quenneville, who is one of the best coaches in the world. And I think he can get a lot more out of this roster than I forgot who their previous coach was. I'm not going to lie. I don't like what he did with it. Like every year, like, oh, Anaheim's going to do something, and they never did anything. And I will blame the coach whose name I forgot. And I do think they'll be better for that reason, where I look at what my model has for this year and I look at what the betting market has, and it seems like the betting market believes that, where I might think the roster is 74 point capable, the betting market thinks it's 80 or 85. That's the coach bump that they believe Quenneville can have. And I think it's hard to argue against that, where I would expect Anaheim is definitely the team to make the biggest jump. Utah is another popular one as well, although as much as I like some of the ads they made, I think there's some question marks on their depth compared to what they had last year.
I also wanted to ask you about a team that I think is going to be better this season. Not that they needed to be that much better, but Carolina, a big move that they made this offseason was getting Nick Ehlers from Winnipeg. I just think it's a great fit. I think you wrote something about also just how it just seems like he's going to be a good guy there. Just, a good two-way player with high-end offensive capabilities. Obviously, they lost something in the Rantanen trade when they sent Nietzsche out west. But I feel like this isn't getting discussed a lot in just terms of, I think Carolina, even though they went to the conference final last year and, second in the division, all that, I think that they're going to take a step forward this year. I think this is a big signing for them. I just wanted to get your take on it.
Yeah, Carolina's interesting because they're always near the top of the league, but they're also extremely young, which I think people underrate right now. They are not better than Florida, obviously. They keep losing to them in the conference finals in incredible fashion, but they are younger than Florida. And so there will probably be at some point an inflection where Carolina might surpass Florida because of how much youth they have, how they are doing contract efficiency stuff at the same scale where they have all these great long-term contracts and deals. And Ehlers, I think, gives them pretty much exactly what Netchus was, which is a chaotic, dynamic player with the puck who can bring it up the ice and not depend so much on forechecking, dummy chase. Give them a different look up front. And you combine that with the fact that they ended up with Stankoven as well. I think they're a lot deeper now. They have a lot more forward weapons. They have, I think, a big three up front, which is really important. If you look at all the contenders, they have three incredible forwards, and I think Ehlers slides in with Aho and Jarvis in that way. Svechnikov too, if he bounces back. The one question mark I have with them is if their 2C is Jesperi Kotkaniemi, I am a bit worried about just how high they can climb, but they are very clearly the class of the Metro this year.
Right now they have Daily Faceoff has Seth Jarvis listed as their 2C. Jesperi Kotkaniemi as a 4C, which I think we've all come to the conclusion that's kind of more of his spot. But, I mean, Carolina, they still look so far away. Like, the Panthers demolished them again in this series, and it's not like the Panthers got any worse. So I just, is the model really high on Carolina again? Because that's a team that, numbers always kind of love.
So if you only use XG or Corsi, you're going to love Carolina a bit too much. I do look at goals as well, and I have Carolina, I think, an appropriate spot, which is 7th. But they have a softer division, so they might jump up ahead of some of the Atlantic teams just by virtue of the Atlantic being, I think, the deepest division in the league. Same with the Central is pretty tough as well. I like Carolina a lot. I think they have a lot of room to grow. I don't know how fair it is that they're extremely far away when you compare them to Florida, because based on the playoffs, we saw everyone is far away.
Yeah,
it seemed like Toronto at some points was close, and then they got demolished. Tampa Bay at some points was close, then they got demolished. Carolina at some points were close. Sorry, they got demolished, and then at some points made it close. And then same with Edmonton, where at some points they were close, and then Florida just... I've never seen a more demoralizing playoff team where you think you have them and then suddenly they score 3 goals and you're like, we do not have them. It was wild to watch.
That line just, I love hearing that.
A surprising thing that I saw in the article was the Philadelphia Flyers and just how much money they have towards the salary cap. What happened?
I was absolutely stunned going through Cap Wages and Puckpedia, seeing them at the top of the salary cap list and then looking at their roster and wondering where did all this money go? Apparently a lot of it is spent on the league worst goaltending for some reason.
Dan Vladar.
You got like $3 million for Vladar, $3 million for Fedotov, $3 million for Urson. None of them are good. Makes perfect sense to me. I do like the Trevor Zegras bet for them because they do need to take those high upside risks, but at the same time, Zegras was not great in Anaheim. I think has stumbled a lot in his development. So he's obviously someone that's pricey who could get to his cap hit in terms of value. It's just not something you can reasonably bet on now. I think the big thing is obviously Sean Couturier, when he signed his deal, was absolutely worth it. One of the best two-way centers in the league, got injured, just isn't that guy anymore, unfortunately.
And finally, yeah, you have to explain this to me. You've been pouring over the rosters for a long time now. Why exactly hasn't Bill Zito won the Jim Gregory
This
Award?
is a great question.
And will he win, based on your model for this upcoming season, will he win next season?
I don't know how he hasn't won one yet. This last year seems the most egregious because he added Marchand and Seth Jones, and meanwhile, did Jim Nill win again? He added
Of
Cody
course.
Ceci.
Who else would have won?
Yep.
It's just unfathomable that he hasn't won because he is the gold standard, and I wonder if this is the year just because he was able to bring everyone back. Basically, it's just Nate Schmidt gone. I think even if he doesn't do anything at the deadline, even if he doesn't have to maneuver in any way, just bring this team back. And if they go to the conference finals again, I don't know how you don't give it to him.
Yeah, the year he does the least will be the year he finally
Right,
wins it.
exactly. Yeah. He lost out to Jim Nill, who brought in Alex Petrovic and Cody Ceci and
Mikko Rantanen.
Have you seen their defensive? The Rantanen move obviously big, but
I still don't think it's up to par with what Zito has done. He took from when he got here 5 years ago, what he took this franchise to where they are now. It's mind blowing, and he's gotten credit in terms of the Stanley Cup. He's won it twice now, but credit from the outside, what are we doing, people? All right, I'm done.
It almost feels like if he wins this year, it'll be like Leonardo DiCaprio winning for The Revenant, kind of like a career lifetime achievement award.
Yeah. There's better things,
right?
But he gets his trophy. Yeah,
we
a
all
good one, Ethan.
We are Bill Zito stands around here. Dom Luszczyszyn, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, Dom.
Thanks, Dom.
All right, that was great with Dom, man. And yes, Bill Zito should have won the damn trophy. God damn it! Come on, what are we doing here?
Can we just make I just want to clip off Dom saying the Panthers are the most demoralizing playoff team I think I've ever seen, or whatever exactly he said, and just play that on a loop forever. Every time I get mad at the Athletic for doubting the Panthers and regression candidate Samson Reinhart and all that stuff they say.
The 5 hockey teams that they have played the most in the playoffs: the Lightning, the Maple Leafs, the Bruins, the Hurricanes, and the Oilers. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Just thinking back on it, don't you you see the Cup days recently, Roy, and you think back on it, and it's just unbelievable what they've done the last couple of years.
Yeah, the Cup is having a great time in Europe right now, man.
They're not done,
and they don't seem to be done.
Just getting started.
They're probably just going to do it again next year, right?
So you guys
baby.
firmly be more annoyed with us talking about Florida Panthers because apparently you guys don't think we talk about the rest of the league enough, even though we just did.
No, the rest of the league needs to start winning some Stanley Cups, dude. I'm sorry.
I love talking about the rest of the league.
If we would have been doing the hockey show 5 years ago, we would have been talking about Tampa. We would have been talking about Colorado. But we're doing the hockey show now.
We're talking about Vegas.
The best. It is what it is.
I'd say next week, just to piss everybody off, we should just do a segment on the San Jose, not the Islanders. Let's do a segment on the
I'm going to
the
talk
Penguins,
about the Islanders. You know
not
that.
the Penguins. Who's the most boring team we could possibly talk about? That just
the
is
Seattle
right in
Kraken.
the middle. Yeah, let's do a segment on the Seattle Kraken just for no reason next week. Just we talked to you all about hockey. Somebody else besides the Panthers.
Rosie, any closing thoughts?
Yes, let me close this with an amazing video, boys. Hit it.
Oh, Jesus. So Sharky, the San Jose Sharks mascot, got kicked in the face.
Is that Celebrini?
By a soccer ball. And it does look like Celebrini.
No, that's Celebrini. I think that might be Will Smith.
Will Smith and Mackie Celebrini.
He even said it's murder, so we're
murder.
We're very close to it. 50
Call it murder.
days.
I think we're 7 weeks away this coming
There you
Tuesday
go.
from opening night.
Macklin Celebrini. I said Mackie because Sam Miscavige had the cup recently. He took it to Newtown.
That was beautiful.
That
He
was
brought
great.
it to the Sandy Hook Museum.
Yeah,
Memorial.
that was great. That was a
That's
great video.
how Panthers centric we are on this show. Is that none of us taught that.
Yeah.
None of us taught that.
I
Yeah.
heard it. I
Mackie celebrating.
didn't want to.
I mean, I knew it was wrong. Like, hey, wait a minute. It's not Mackey. It's Macklin. Oh, shit. Let me correct myself because I miss Panthers hockey. I miss hockey in
7
general.
weeks, Roy. I'll be there. I bought my tickets last week.
Yeah, I'll be in the press box with Dave.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right. So that's the show. We thank you for joining us. Rosie, thank you for doing whatever it is that you do. I don't know. I know why you're in here because Dave's not here. Dave,
well,
come back.
Probably a bad
Whatever it
idea to
is-
let me in here.
Okay,
Yeah.
just because we have to close and we don't have time, but whatever it is, what I do, you should know by now what I do.
I know. I was being facetious there, Rose.
Bye, everybody.
All right. For Gino and whoever else is in the video studio.
Jason.
Jason's over there. He's
There you
directing
go.
the things that we are doing. Ethan, don't come in here anymore. David, come back.
Never coming
Rose,
back.
thank you. My name is Roy Bellamy. Thank you for watching and listening to The Hockey Show. We will see you next week. And we'll talk to you as well because we're also on the audio podcast, aren't we?
Smooth, Roy. Very smooth.
Very smooth, bro. That's the beginning of the YouTube video.
Longest outro ever.